Hello and welcome to Cloudforest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloudforest Vibes. Today's video is all about the blooms. I've got several new blooms to share with you guys, as well as some old ones still lingering around that are definitely worth a look. So I'm going to get right into it. We're going to look at some of the older blooms first, and some progress here and there, but like I said, this video is all about the blooms. So let's get in here and take a look. I have got to start out with the lovely Dendrobium Unicom. This plant is just starting to fade. This first little bloom right here, starting to get a little translucent at the lip, and the petals and stuff are starting to get floppy. So don't know how much longer this is going to be with us. I doubt it will be much longer. So let's go ahead and take a nice look at this now and enjoy it while we can. Next to it we have the lovely Dendrobium Hemi Melanoglossum. It's just clinging on to its last few blooms on its spikes, but they are starting to fade pretty fast. These are really long lasting. These down here may be with us a little while longer, but overall these spikes are starting to fade, and this plant is really starting to get back into growth. It's looking really good. I'm really pleased with it so far, and the Unicom as well. The Unicom's growth is coming on really strong. Really nice new growth there. We just looked at this little orchid in my last Care Collab video, but it's starting to fade. It has been out quite a while. This is its first bloom, and as you see, its lip is starting to wrinkle a bit and fold up. The last bloom that opened was this big guy. It should be with us for a few more weeks, but overall these blooms are going to start to fade real soon, and this plant will be back into growth. Once these blooms fade and I see this plant start to do some new roots or new growths, whatever I start to see first, it's coming off this stick finally this year, and it's going to go onto a nice piece of cork. Not blooms, but progress. We have our little Tolumnia Calacula Bud here. The mount fell from its normal position after I moved this plant here, and I kind of left it there, so the spike is doing a funny thing. It's kind of growing down and then it's curlicuing back up. We'll look at that closer one of these days, but we should see a bloom here in the not too distant future on Tolumnia Calacula, and that is going to be special. What an awesome bloom. The first new blooms we'll have a look at is my Phalaenopsis Parishioi. This plant opened up not too long ago and is really awesome. I've got 4 blooms this year, 2 spikes, and a lovely little spread of Phalaenopsis blooms over this little plant. Really neat little guy. I'm hoping to have better success growing it this year. For some reason I had a really warped growth last year. I may cut these spikes off prematurely and try to get some strength back into this plant, but I haven't decided yet because I really do love seeing these blooms. This is my only phal species that blooms faithfully, at least so far. We'll see what happens with the Bellina this year. I would love to add another to the list, but so far this has been my my most faithful blooming species, Phalaenopsis. Really easy to grow. I just had the one issue, and I have absolutely no idea why. See, a little stunted weird leaf. The one after it grew really nice. It's one of the best leaves it grew, but for some reason right after it bloomed last year, it put out a really wimpy leaf. So I'm interested to see what happens. I'm growing it a little more moist. I'm feeding it a little more regularly, and I'm hoping that I don't deplete the reserves while the blooms are on it this year. Alrighty, on to the next new blooms. So down here we've got 2 more new blooms and several more to come, hopefully. This is the back of the Dracula Carteri, or Dracula inequalis bloom, and I have 2 of them. Really neat little blooms. I looked down one day and it just was there, so I wanted to give you guys the view of it that I had first. Neat little plant, and I'm going to have to move it so we can look up into it because you have got to see the little face on this one. I've got it turned up on one of my shelves. Let's see if I can get in here nice and close and keep it in view so you guys can see this awesome little face. It's got red hairs all throughout it. They're probably not going to come out very well. And this awesome little red spot at the top. Really difficult to get in close enough to this one to give you the true effect of it, but I took some really cool pictures, which you know I'm going to roll. And that is Dracula Carteri, or Dracula inequalis. Really awesome. 2 blooms open so far, and several more to come hopefully. It is a sequential bloomer, so what's neat is if you look behind the blooms, we've already got another bud forming here and here, and some of the ones that have blasted, thankfully, are still pushing on other attempts, so we'll see this again in the near future. And that's really exciting. More success with Draculas. Just love it, guys. Alrighty, on to the next one. So, as an orchid grower, I can tell you right now, few things I've waited for in more anticipation than seeing Bulbophyllum barbagirum in bloom in person. This bloom is absolutely awesome. I have 3 flowers open, and just from me talking in front of them, you can see how mobile the lips are. This orchid was the subject of a lot of debate. Darwin was obsessed with this orchid. He thought it was like the missing link between animals and plants. Just really awesome. This orchid has inspired a lot of growers, including myself, to start growing bulbophyllums, and from the moment that I saw this plant and heard about it, I absolutely had to have it. The fragrance on it is unpleasant, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was. I have absolutely nothing I can compare it to. Just know it's not that great. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it was yet. I mean, we have a lot of flowers to go. It's not so overpowering, but I did notice today with the 3rd flower being open that it was significantly stronger, and I have a feeling that it's going to keep getting stronger as these blooms open up down this spike. We have several more to go. At least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say 6 or 7 more to go. So we'll see what happens. So my fan just kicked on. You can see those little lips going nuts. And that is exactly what I wanted to share with you guys. So thank you so much as always for watching. That's my video for today. We're going to close out right here on this one. And I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and happy growing, guys. See ya. It's like it's waving goodbye. Bye. See you guys. Bye.